Alright guys, it's Chatterbox Reviews coming at you guys with Ozark Season 1, Episode 1 review. Alright, so let's jump right into the episode here. I was really excited for this series. I heard about it. It was advertised everywhere, of course, like every other Netflix show. But Jason Bateman in a TV show, that was pretty cool for me to see that. But yeah, I think he blew it out of the water in the first episode here. And to be honest, without his acting, this series it is original. I will give it that, but it's not something that you never seen before on TV. Kind of, and I have heard this, but compared to Breaking Bad, that's sort of what Netflix is trying to do with it. And I really like it. I love Breaking Bad. I've watched it like twice through already. Or I guess not already. It's been years since it's been out, but yeah, I love that, and I do like this. I really like the first episode. So, basically, I'm just going to do basically recap and then discuss. Yeah, so we're just gonna start off from the beginning here, and it basically starts from the beginning sequence here, and I think what's gonna happen is that basically sequence is what we're gonna see sort of episode 2 or later in the season. I think him like putting the drugs in the cooler, stuff like that. I think that's what is the show's building to. So it's sort of foreshadowing in that situation there. And yeah, and then it basically just starts and goes right into it. And then we see Marty, which is Jason Bateman, the main character of this one, is like watching a self-made porn film, basically. And I think the whole purpose of that thing in there is that his wife doesn't know he tapes it. I think maybe that's obvious to you guys. I don't know, but I kind of caught on later that she didn't know that he was taping that. So it's sort of like a self-enjoyment thing, I guess, for him. He likes it. But anyways, he was watching it in his office with customers there. So it's kind of shows the how he wasn't taking it too seriously, or he was a little overconfident with his job or whatever, just opening it up in the middle of a meeting, right? And obviously, as we can probably tell, he's done it before, right? So yeah, so anyways, it's kind of a cool little quirky thing about the character as well. We learned some stuff about that. So then after that, and then Bruce talks about getting in the car, and then they go to that new office that they're thinking of buying, or that Bruce wants to buy for them, because obviously they're doing really well with the financial advising firm that they have. So they go, to that new property, and they look it over, and of course Bruce has already, basically bought it already. And he just sort of wanted Marty to come, and he was already the girlfriend was the real estate agent there, his girlfriend Bruce's, so that's how that was all connected there. And then after that, we see sort of his regular family life. We see the supper scene with his kids. Jonah is the boy, and Charlotte is the girl, I believe, and then Wendy, the wife. So yeah, and it's Bird, I think, right? Marty Bird, yeah, so they're all Bird as their last name. So then, basically, yeah, we just see his family life, the dinner scene of what he sort of, like, puts up with, I guess, on a daily basis. And then what else? And then comes the scene where he's watching it again, right, with his wife on the couch there. And I don't think she knows, so obviously this is taking a pretty big risk if she got up and saw the laptop or something like that happen, right? So that would happen. But anyways, so then after that, she goes to bed and he goes out. So he drives up to I think it was like a stripper corner or something like that, where they come in your car and whatever. And the whole time, that scene where the girl comes into his car and is talking to him and all that, I thought that was real. Like, I bought into that. I totally was picturing that to be true and everything. And then we see it's all just a dream, and he's just alone there sitting in his car. So that was pretty funny scene as well. And then the woman comes over and knocks on his glass. It's pretty funny. So there's definitely some comic stuff in here, some comedy. mixed in, especially with his character. I find Jason Bateman always plays these kind of characters, so that's the thing that kind of puts me off just a little bit, but not much. But yeah, he usually always plays these type of characters that sort of have like a comedy, but like a little weird, not totally normal or whatever. So, but he's great in him. He's great in that role. So maybe that's why I don't know. But yes. So then obviously we find out that he's alone. And then of course Bruce calls him to come to the meeting. That the drug cartel guy. Now I'm not sure. I got Dell, but then later on I think he said Odell or something like that. So I'm not completely sure about that. I will make sure for episode 2 that I get that down, or maybe I'll just look it up. I don't know. But yeah. So Dell. I'm just gonna say Dell for now because that's what I got. So then he wants to meet with them for the money that they stole, or well, as we find out later, he doesn't really know that they stole them, but he's missing, money, right? So then, of course, that scene was pretty big for the show. It basically told us that we met the main characters, Bruce, his girlfriend, and those two guys were new, Nelson, and I didn't catch the son's name, but I think the old guy was Nelson, the father, and then those two were we met them for like a minute and then they were dead. So just shows us. And Bruce, I thought, like, when I first met him there, he's gonna be a main character in the show, like that. Okay, I'm meeting main characters here. He's dead, right? So it gives us that wow factor. A lot of Netflix shows do that. I find, like, a lot of the Netflix originals, like, you get into an episode, or maybe even like episode 2 usually, there's always like that whoa factor of hey, like, no character's safe or whatever. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the Netflix originals I've watched are sort of like that, all the dramas that I've seen. So yeah, so this Dell guy shoots Bruce, the girlfriend, through the washroom door, which was really unexpected, and that sort of started the whole thing. And then, yeah, Bruce dies, the son, the father, they're all dead, and they're put in barrels. Which, by the way, I like that because the last time I saw a body being stuffed in a barrel like that with acid was Breaking Bad, when Jesse and Walter did that. So, anyways, I thought that was pretty cool to mix that in. I'm not sure. Obviously, they probably didn't do that on purpose, but I thought it was a pretty cool thing. So then, of course, Marty is about to get shot. At gunpoint there, Dell, and of course, witty Marty, the character, figures out the brochure that Bruce gave him earlier on, and somehow convinces this drug cartel guy to keep him alive, and that he is going to make $500 million in 5 years. So that's pretty insane, Like, I don't even think he thinks it's in the ballpark of $500 million. Right? Like, I don't think it's going to be even close to that. But we'll see, I guess. He had to give him a big number, right? So that he wouldn't kill him. And so I thought that was really cool when they did the gunshot. We heard the gunshot, and we're like, they're killing off all these characters? Like, there's 9 more episodes of this season, right? And then, of course, it's just like a dream sequence again. So I'm thinking also this shows the stripper dream sequence and this one. So it kind of shows maybe that we're going to see more of those later on in the show. That maybe this Marty character does that a lot, or maybe the show is going to do that a lot with other characters too. So, and I would like to see that. I like the dream sequences and stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, he gets away. He promises to clean the money. He gets 48 hours to pay back the $8 million that they stole. Which I don't know why they stole. Like, it's pretty dumb. But anyways, 48 hours to leave for the Ozarks. So after that. So it's 2 48-hour time spans. And there you go. So this was sort of a like a question area for me. I didn't really get who it was. But Marty talks with a guy in that park sequence about stuff about disappearing and asking him, like, just general questions about it. And so I don't know who this guy is. I think he maybe is a lawyer of his, maybe, or like a criminal lawyer, basically, where he knows what Marty does. in the business and launders money for them because he knew a lot about him, right? So I think that is what that is. Um, Talks with the guy in the park, and then he finds out that his wife is cheating with the lawyer, or I guess so. Maybe that is her lawyer, and he is Marty's lawyer. I'm not completely positive. I We didn't really get enough information for that. But yeah, the wife's cheating with the lawyer, and I didn't even see that. Like when I saw the wife and the guy there, I thought like I didn't know it was cheating. Like he looked a lot older than her, so I don't know what she was doing with him, especially when her husband, is quite rich. Like I don't know, but anyways, that's just my opinion. I guess I'm throwing it out there. Um, so yeah, he finds out the wife is cheating, so of course he drives over there, and the guy tells him where he lives. So on the 80th floor, we find out, and then the best part of this episode, seriously, I love this so much. The favorite scene, when Jason Bateman or Marty is walking up to go into the building, the guy falls and smacks down right on the pavement from the 80th floor. So like that's quite a fall. And obviously he's dead probably before they threw him. But I thought that was like, and it's kind of dark to say it was funny because the guy died. But I mean, we're supposed to not like him because he's interfering with the relationship, I guess. But I thought it was hilarious, like the guy just lands right in front of him. Maybe like a second or two earlier, he would have like like hit Marty down to the ground as well. So I thought that was a really cool part there by Dell. Dell probably threw him over, knowing him. So yeah, so then Marty, of course, and I wasn't even sure, they kind of left it a mystery a little bit, where Dell asks Marty, like, should I take care of our Wendy problem or whatever, his wife. And I thought there for like a few seconds that he was gonna say yes and that Wendy was gonna die. And then sort of they showed a scene where Marty's there and he's looking at the pictures on the wall, as well, and sort of like reminiscing. And I thought for sure, I'm like, she's dead. Wow, like really? But no, she's still alive. She comes in and sits beside him there. Okay, so then after that, when Wendy comes up there, then they have to tell the kids, of course, that they're moving, and obviously the kids aren't happy. Pretty generic scene there, and it's very realistic, as I imagine. So then they tell the kids, and of course, the daughter Charlotte doesn't want to go, but they have to force her. She's 15 years old. Same old stuff there. So then they pack up their things finally. And then that's happening, and then that's when also Marty is with Dell. It looked like a campsite sort of thing. I don't know how they were safe there. It wasn't like very, it was pretty open to everyone, and that was where Marty was going to give him the $8 million. And also I'm not going to touch on it too much because it wasn't that important, but it was kind of funny to the story that Marty shows up at the bank. And like that whole bank stuff with the money trying to get the $7 million out liquidated is pretty funny. And then of course he does end up getting it out, and then the two guys holding up the notepad. I thought that was pretty funny, and yeah, it kind of made more of the show enjoyable. So then the whole drop there, and he was short $6,000. Which I would have thought Dell reacted worse than he did. Like I would have thought he like held him at gunpoint again, because I know it's 6,000, but he already killed like 4 people before, and just straight up, like no thinking, whatever. So obviously he's not very sympathetic, quite obviously. So I thought that would happen, but it was okay. And basically. I think what did he say? He said he'll give him 20,000 or something. So then he would owe him 27,000, but then he's gonna lease the van or whatever, something like that. And I thought that was pretty funny that he's like America's top caravan or something. It was pretty cool, that little scene there. So basically he's leasing the van for him for $1,000 a month, which is insane. Of course. But he's got to get back at him somehow, I guess, for being short 6,000. So then, after that, they leave for the Ozarks, and the journey begins for Marty. And then, of course, we see them in the van driving up, and then Marty says he wants to go take a leak in the forest there, and he stops the van. And then, he goes to the tree and he's saying, I'm sorry or whatever. And I'm not sure who that's to. I think it's towards like his family, probably his kids, because obviously he's not the best relationship with Wendy right now after he just found out she cheated on him for a while. Um, and so I think it's to the kids, but I think it's also maybe to Bruce because I think they were they were pretty good friends. So maybe that, maybe sorry to the other people who died, like Nelson, his kid, and Bruce's girlfriend. I didn't get her name, but I'm just gonna say Bruce's girlfriend. And I don't think she'll probably end up coming back in the show anyways. So that's we'll leave it there. But yeah, so that was kind of an interesting part though, showing he feels sorry for what's happening. And then it basically ends the episode with the family looking over the mountaintop there, into the water of the Ozarks. To me, that kind of displayed that it was sort of a false sense of hope. But I think they're not completely there yet, right? Like I think he just parked the van there. They weren't completely there to their destination or their new house. So this could be like just outside of town maybe. But for me, I think it said, it was a false sense of hope. He's like, this place is not really popular. Like, it doesn't have a lot of people, like the brochure was saying. And that maybe he's going to have a lot of trouble getting the money back for Dell to make the money. That's sort of what I got out of it, but maybe I'm wrong. I think that is what that was showing, though, sort of. And it showed that a lot of them, or not a lot of them, but the family was sort of upset as well because, now they're in the middle of nowhere and they were just living in the city. So, of Chicago, I think it said the show is based in Chicago. And so now, and this is in Missouri, I believe, Ozarks, Missouri. And I think United States, I would think. I don't know of any other Missouri. I think that sounds kind of dumb. But yeah, I think United States. Yeah, so maybe they weren't all the way there, but my opinion is that it sort of shows, that it's not like at all, all the stuff that Marty was describing, to Dell, trying to like get his last chance at life or whatever there, right? But yeah, it was a beautiful place, really. The look on there, the look that we got from the show there. Also Marty's face in that scene also sort of, he was kind of frowning and he wasn't happy. So and I mean that's probably about other stuff too, but I think it was to show sort of like, wow, like we are really in the middle of nowhere sort of thing there. But yeah, so that's basically how it ends. That closes out, and then we also find out that Jace Bateman directed this episode. So I just thought I'd put that out there. I'm not sure if he's going to direct all of the rest of the season. I wouldn't think so. If he does, that's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, so he directed this episode. At least we know that. And yeah, so that's pretty much all we got out of episode 1. I probably did miss a little bit there, a few things, but I'm just trying to keep this not like an hour long. But yeah, so basically, I enjoyed the episode as a whole. So basically, I'm going to give a rating of each episode and my favorite character from that episode for this show and my other shows that I do on this channel as well. So the rating for this one I came up with, it was a 4.2 out of 5. I'm not always going to use decimals probably, but yeah, just for this one I will. And basically why it wasn't, a little bit higher was just, like I said before, I've seen Breaking Bad. Maybe someone who hasn't would appreciate the storyline and everything like that. But it's not a brand new idea, that's sort of brought down for me. But Jason Bateman's acting and his whole character really brought it up, from probably like, I don't know, maybe a high 3 point something, right? But he really brought it up. His acting is great, as we all know from all the movies he's been in. But yeah, so I think it's a 4.2. And I think it's just gonna get better though from here. Episode 1 is just a pilot episode, as all shows are. But I think it's definitely gonna get better. I think we're gonna be at 5 probably for the rest of the season in a couple episodes, I would think. I've talked to some people who have watched farther ahead, and they say it's awesome. So yeah, so I think we're definitely gonna see some high ratings. So then my favorite character for this episode, obviously it's Marty, as he is the main character. But always keep in mind it's not always going to be the main character I pick. And I'm going to try to switch it up a little bit, even though sometimes maybe Marty will probably be the favorite of this show for everyone. But sometimes I'm going to try to mix it up, pick a different guy or character, I should say, and talk a little bit about them. But Marty, I love the comedy of the character, sort of like the weird quirkiness of like going to the strip corner and taping his own like sex tape of his wife and him, right? I love that little part there. So it's not just a bad guy sort of character, right? We get to see a lot more from him, and I think that was great directing and creation there for that character as well. And of course, Jason Bateman plays the character amazing. So yeah, I think that does it though for episode 1. I'm really stoked for episode 2. For these, because Netflix tends to release these series all in one thing, which I personally don't like, because I like to have it last 10 weeks rather than have it, and I just go through it, right? Like I binge watch and I'm going to go through it in 2 days. But for this channel, I think I'm going to do, whenever I don't have another show that I'm going to be doing, I'll do an episode of this. So I think that's a pretty fair idea. And I know a lot of people probably have already watched the whole season. I know that probably, right? But I'm gonna do an episode here and there, probably like every 2 or 3 days, or every 2 days maybe. If I get hooked on it and I start watching it, then I'll obviously upload reviews, maybe even daily, or 2 in a day. I don't know. But I feel like I'm definitely gonna get hooked on this. I love it so far. Awesome first episode to start off. Gonna be a good series. And yeah, so see you guys in the next episode of Ozark Season 1.